Wow, Capcom actually listened. Season 2 of Street Fighter 6 had a lot more misses than hits for most people, with no sign of costumes in sight and battle passes catering to one subsection of the community, with most people considering them not worth the investment. I made multiple videos discussing everything Capcom could do to improve Street Fighter 6, and surprisingly, they actually addressed almost every issue this game was facing. Outside of DLC characters, costumes are easily the most anticipated content Street Fighter has ever received. Hell, Chun-Li costumes single-handedly saved Street Fighter V from massive failure.
That the entire reason that they were able to continue development of the game was because costumes were selling. So because costume sales were high, they were even able to budget out the remaining parts of the game to get it fixed.
Well, just like Street Fighter V, people were extremely happy with Street Fighter 6's costumes. However, the extremely slow rate these costumes released did not sit well with most of the fan base. In an older video, I addressed how flawed Capcom's approach to costume releases are, and games like Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, etc. are the best ways to approach content distribution, and seemingly that is what Capcom is actually doing. It was very clear that Capcom did not have the manpower to release super detailed costumes for 24 plus characters in 1 year at once. So this time around in Season 3, they've decided to release 7 character costumes at a time, which sounds like we're getting less content at first glance until you actually break it down. With Season 1, we waited 6 months to finally get Outfit 3 for every character in the game, DLC characters aside. We haven't heard anything about Outfit 4 until literally a few days ago. Long story short, there was an 18th month gap between these two costume releases, which sounds insane in hindsight. Now, instead of waiting a whole year for the next batch of costumes for everyone, we'll be getting 7 costumes every single character release in Season 3. Essentially, 7 costume releases every 2 months, which is a lot better than what we had previously. Costumes aren't the only thing receiving proper changes in Season 3. Battle passes in Street Fighter 6 on paper sound like you get a lot more bang for your buck, especially for $5. But when you actually sit and break everything down, 90% of it cannot be used in other game modes most people care about, which is Fighting Ground. Prior to Season 3, the Battle Passes gave you absolutely nothing towards the main roster of Street Fighter 6, which eventually became a huge issue for a lot of people. With the amount of backlash received from not only the casual audience, but the competitive and hardcore audience, Capcom had to do something. Now in Season 3, the Battle Passes will be equipped with at least 2 character colors and a lot more music to use in the jukebox. The colors might not seem that crazy, but it means a lot more than you might think. This one change affects how Capcom approaches what should be one of the biggest things Capcom could do for a Street Fighter game, and that is collaborations. Even with Capcom's own IPs, all of the collabs that Street Fighter has received so far mostly went towards avatar items that can only be used in Battle Hub and World Tour. Now, collabs will include colors and even potentially costumes for at least 2 characters in the main roster. The costume part, I could tell you, isn't wishful thinking because Capcom accidentally released a Jury costume that is exclusive to a collab they're doing with a K-pop group. Since it was unintentionally shown off, I won't show the costume in the video, but just know Capcom is serious about upping the amount of content we receive on a monthly basis. Street Fighter 6 seems to be improving in a ton of different ways, but this one change specifically is throwing people for a loop, myself included, and that is the huge DLC character gap. What's been a constant thing with Street Fighter 6's DLC roadmaps is 2 characters usually released within the 2 months apart of each other, then there's a big gap in between the second and third character, with the third character releasing about 3 to 4 months after the second character. With Season 3, they seemingly widen the gap between the second and third character by skipping the winter release window entirely. This puts the gap between C. Viper and Alex by potentially a whopping 6 months. 3 to 4 months was already pretty egregious, but half a year is kind of insane. I'm praying Capcom has something in store for us between the huge gap. It could be wishful thinking, but what if there's a secret character they're not talking about? Because to be honest, for a gap that large between characters, it has to be something super substantial, but who knows? It could very well be a secret feed character they haven't told people about, or something completely different that I can't even think of at the moment. But hey, we'll see in a few months. How do you guys feel about the new changes being made to the cosmetic content in Street Fighter 6? Any of the upcoming Outfit 4 costumes you plan on copping? And do you think there's a secret character in Street Fighter 6 Season 3? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you want more content like this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. I love every single one of y'all. Stay safe, peace, and love y'all.
Plus you thought you was clever. It's all about the family. We stay silent forever. Yo, I moved on. Now my life is much better. Now we on some bigger things, but we hustle forever. We cut your life short. Plus you thought you was clever. It's all about the family. We stay silent forever.